Thanks for tuning into A Better World. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, and don't forget to subscribe to the blog at loseview.blogspot.com. And today we're talking about the blockchain. This is just going to be a concise overview of what the blockchain is. Not going to go too in depth. There are a lot of intricate parts with the blockchain, but we're going to keep it pretty simple and just explain what it is. So if you remember the first episode describing what blockchain is basically decentralizing the banking system. Now, blockchain is sort of the platform that Bitcoin does that on. And so you can think of the blockchain as sort of like a public receipt where everybody can see the transactions made. However, you can't see who made those transactions, securing your privacy, kind of respecting the Fourth Amendment kind of deal. And it is just bringing transparency to the financial world with this system. If you look at businesses and politicians, there's a lot of closed door meetings that take place and transactions that the general public has no clue that are taking place. And also, where do your funds go when you give money to the government? You don't really know. They tell you it's going one place, but it can be going somewhere else. Just like with this bill that passed Congress, the stimulus bill that gives Congress members like millions of dollars in a slush fund. It's crazy stuff, but not too many people are aware of that. But with blockchain technology, everything is transparent. So it's just a public receipt where all the transactions are public. Well, it's kind of redundant, right? Public receipt, transactions are all public. Anyway, so, and this blockchain, this is where it gets its name. So essentially it is storing data in a block, and that data has been verified by a miner. We'll get into miners at another time. And then another piece of data is then verified, stored on a block, and that block is linked to the prior block, and there is no reverse in the blockchain technology. It's only forward moving, so you cannot change it. It's immutable, which makes it way advanced compared to anything that we have today. And it secures you and me, because another thing that financial systems can do, especially our current financial systems where it's inflationary, is our money can disappear overnight. They can just wipe it out. That can't happen with something like this, not only because the data is private, it's yours, but also it's a deflationary thing. So it's a certain supply and you can't inflate it. It just doesn't work. It's antithetical to what blockchain is and Bitcoin is. So, and this is all done with cryptology. We'll get into that a little bit more, which is just basically the evolution or the successor of encryption. And so this is one of the main reasons Bitcoin is criticized, because while you can see the transactions, the person making the transaction is anonymous. They don't like that because you get to retain your privacy and so on and so forth. And so basically it's just a block of chains connecting together, storing data that has been verified by these miners. And you may think, well, then you have to trust this third party to then verify this transaction. Yes, however, it requires algorithms in order to verify that transaction. And like the Lil Wayne song, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So you can't really lie with I know you can use statistics and you can manipulate that, but I think we all know a little bit about math and know, if you can prove it in an equation, it has to be true. Especially, I don't think I need to go much deeper into that. So we can go deeper into these topics in another episode, but I just want to kind of go over this broad view of what the blockchain is. And so just, I guess, to give another example, is basically these, or just explain a little bit more. So this cryptology that is used on the blockchain is just a secure communication between two people. That way a third party can't come in and interfere. So it's kind of like just blocked off, secluded. That way nobody can ruin that transaction that takes place. And so many beautiful things can happen on this. And we'll talk about the smart contracts and other things that can take place. And just to give an analogy, if this is just too much and you're still a little confused, think about trees. Not one tree produces all the oxygen in the world. They all work symbiotically together, and no one human can store all the trees and say, oh, well, you have to pay me to get oxygen because it's just this decentralized system, right? And then if, a baby tree trying to grow in the forest is lacking nutrients and needs a proof of work, some validation, if you will, if you want to use that. I know it's a loose analogy, just roll with me here. Then its mother tree or some other tree in the forest will help work, give it proof of validation, whatever. And these trees are all working for the same goal, despite popular thought, which is these trees compete to reach the sun. They don't. They work symbiotically together. And so, just like the trees work symbiotically to raise to the sun, the blockchain works symbiotically to decentralize us, to give power to you and I, and eliminate central banking. Central banking was a step up. Decentralized banking is the next step. And that's what blockchain and Bitcoin allows us to do. So the next episode, we'll go into a little bit more about the mining, and then we'll do smart contracts, and we'll just go from there. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And so please like, share, subscribe, and we will see you later. Peace.